Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've done something a little bit different. I've bought myself a booster box worth of cards, but I decided on getting a little value and handpicked all the stuff that I wanted. Basically, I've got a shit ton of decks that I've been wanting to update and a bunch of decks that I wanted to build from scratch. As you can see, I've got myself a little tower of decks, and just about all of them really needed at least a few updates. So yeah, so really be any surprises for me, but for you it's just gonna be all all brand new. And I thought I'd do a little talk about the things that I ordered and the things they mean to me. It's gonna be good. And if for no one else than just for my own enjoyment and going back and looking, oh yeah, that's right, I got that thing, and oh yeah, there was a time when I didn't have that in that deck. Come on then. Holy shit, that looks good. That looks so good. All of the value. Anyways, I ordered this from Channel Fireball, and let me just give the biggest shout out to them ever. I live in Denmark, and of course they're situated in California, and they usually go 10 to 20 business days on their international shipping. I got it within 5 days. Oh, look, it's Lewis! And he's even foil. I don't know. I like these. I really like these. I think it's cool that they do it. I have no idea if it actually is usable for anything, but I really like that they do it. Anyways, I think it's absolutely amazing that they got to me with this big an order in less than 5 days. It's just fantastic. I was not setting my mind up for anything in the near vicinity of that. Well, they're always really fast. Usually they arrive within a 10 day. But this is just exceptional. And their prices, well, I'm not gonna turn this into a commercial or anything, but damn, they're good. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. You're making my hobby such a joy. Well, anyway, I have no idea if they'll be in the order that I rung them up, but here we go. Detonate. Oh, I ordered a playset of these for my... Do you know what that is? It's an artifact deck in which I use liquid metal coating or liquid metal skin or whatever it's called to turn every permanent into an artifact and then do horrible, unspeakable things to them. So yeah, playset of these. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I'm gluttonous like that. I think I'm gonna call this video the 7 Deadly Sins of Magic, just because, well, I think in a stretch sense of way you can find every one of the deadly sins in my splurging right here. Anyways, Tarif, great, another playset for my white Orzhov Orthodoxy deck. It's gonna be centered around the idea that I want my opponents to pay for everything over and over. That means attacking, keeping their creatures, even casting spells, anything that they want to do, they gotta pay me. So that's gonna be fun. And a single little millstone. I've ordered it for my Haygob deck, and it's a flavor deck that I build around this awesome plot that I once did, where my players came to this really desolate farmlands, and all of a sudden they were ambushed by redcaps and the likes that just sprung up from underneath the earth, started cutting at their ankles, and they wanted to drag them off to their mill and, you know, make bone meal out of their bones and crush their skulls. And this is just an homage to that. See, Saradan Yearling, and for some reason, the foils were cheaper, at least in stock. I've got a deck centered around, well, really the commander of the deck, you could say it's not a commander deck, but the leader of the deck is Ural the Miststalker, but Glory Scale Viashino is the star there, and so anything within the Naya colors that's multicolored and cheap is good for me, and this is fantastic. Slap Scorch of the Nobilis on that, and you've got a killer on turn 3. Absolute killer. Token. I've been wanting to update all my decks so that I had all the needed necessary tokens to actually do it right and not just use twigs or crumbled up pieces of paper or dice or whatever I had lying around. So tokens, yes. Inheritance, another card for my white Orshav deck. Really, it's right there. Someone dies and then you get to get stuff. It's great. It's absolutely great. Dark Imposter. It's for my vampire deck. Enough said, it's a really, really good vampire. I've been wanting something that could exile stuff, so that's good. Hounds of Griselbrand, a playset again. My decadence knows no bounds. I have a doggy deck that is just begging for this guy. So that's cool. Natural End, another playset. It's great. I love these 2-for-1 style spells, and it's going straight in my what's it called? Ageless Entity deck. So anything really that gives me life gain on top of doing something else is just perfect for that deck. Banishment, just a single one I needed for my upcoming fairy deck, and I know that there aren't any fairies on the card, but this butterfly is really pretty, and turning something ugly into something pretty is nice. Oh, Andrana's Emissary. I've gotten to the point where I finally felt like I could do a proper white and black cleric deck. So these were an absolute must. I adore the art. There's boobs and there's a vampire and she's looking cool and it's a good kind. It's fantastic. Simply fantastic. Matsu Tribe Sniper. A super, super cool and very, very nicely drawn snake that I've been wanting to add some of to my old snake deck. I don't think I'll be using the playset, but it's such a cool card, and I just wanted to be certain that I had enough if I wanted to put a playset in there. Let's see. Oh, there's so many cards. My goodness, I've spent a lot of money on this. Oh well. Fellhide Spirit Binder. He's super cool. I don't know if I'll ever get the Inspired triggered in my Minotaur deck. I'll be attacking a lot, but I don't know if I'll get him inspired and actually use the mana on it. But he was a cool Minotaur that I needed to put in there. Lightning Volley, I needed a playset of that for any of my red token decks, especially all of my goblin decks. Absolutely fantastic card. And Silent Sentinel. Super, super cool art, and it's going straight in my white enchantments deck. It's just too good not to use. I'm gonna run out of slots soon in my sorting tray. I had no idea I was doing this many. Sunbond. I've only ordered 3, apparently. Maybe I did. I don't know. It's right, I have 1 already. I don't even remember what deck it's in, but I just know that it's so damn good that I wanted to place it for whatever it's in. So that's something. Initiate of Blood. This is perhaps one of my favorite ogres of all time. He inspired one of my oldest Dungeons and Dragons characters, who was not called Goka, but Gokan. And instead of being unjust, he was quite just. He was not a paladin. He was some sort of guardian of some sort of sacred mountaintop. All the cliches, all of them, and there we have him, Seshiro. I've had my eyes on him for ever since I started playing. Really, my friend who introduced me to Magic had a snake deck, and it was well, back then I thought it was super, super good. Nowadays, probably not so much, but I've always wanted that card. And now I have it. And here we have Aladdin. He's an ugly one, but he's gonna fit perfectly into my, you know what that is? An artifact deck. Fucking A. And Braid of Fire. Super expensive, but with mana burn not being a thing anymore, that cumulative upkeep, oh, that is fucking sweet. It's going straight in my tricolored Horus the Avenger dragon deck, because I need more mana in there. Same goes for these Rites of Flame, and they're gonna be perfect for my Dragon Storm. Absolutely perfect. Chrome Shell Crab. So unbelievably ugly. I'll let you in a little secret. I am quite phobic of crabs, so ordering this took some nerves being stilled for me. But he's such a great morph card, and he's going straight in. Yeah, you guessed it, my morph deck, Mortivore. This guy is one of my oldest rares. The first ever pack of cards I bought was one of the decks for 10th edition. I know that I started way after that, but they had it laying about in my local store, and I've always loved it. Nowadays, my wife has it in, I think it's in her Golgari deck, and I wanted one, but I didn't want to take it from her because, hey, she has it now. Now I've officially run out of slots. That's okay, we're just talking about this. Ooh, and the first lady of my new and soon-to-be wizard deck, or rather, a wizard did it deck. It's gonna be fantastic. 40 creatures, all of them wizards, and everything the deck does, a wizard did it. It's gonna be fantastic. Let's see, Hunter Troll. Beautiful, beautiful art, and he's going straight in my troll deck that has Valrus as the leader. So, you know, imagine scavenging 8 plus counters for 4 mana is just freaking terrific. And a Ravenous Baloth. He is beautiful. Look at that art. The other way. There. Such a pro, right? Anyway, super cool. I have a beast deck it's not really a favorite deck of mine, but I like using it, and I thought it deserved some good cards. And Sanguine Bond. Huh. What do you know? If I didn't know any better, I would swear that I had ordered them in Chinese. Not because I want them in Chinese, but because they were cheaper. And these are clearly Japanese. But doesn't really matter. Well, one for me, so I can have a playset in my Sanguine Bond deck, and one for my wife, because she's been begging to have one for so long, and I am stingy like that. But now she gets one. Thornwind Fairies. First show-ups for my upcoming fairy deck, and they don't fill a particular role, except for the fact that it's so nice to have a pinger. That's good. And Drana, Glustrip Blood Chief. Super cool little lady. I'm doing a major update of my vampire deck, and I don't know if I will ever fit all the vampires that I've bought in this haul, but I definitely wanted her to be around. And yes, there we have it, an actual snake token. I printed out one of these way before I even knew that you could actually buy them in actual cardboard. So I printed it out, and then I glued it on top of some sort of junk card, and then I put it in a sleeve, and no one's noticed yet, and it's been nice, but it's gonna be so good to actually have the right one. And Celestial Ancient for my white enchantment deck, of course. It's so beautiful and so eerie, and it's so cool and so good, and all the other positive words. And Illusory Ambusher. I have an illusion deck, and I thought, well, this is just so cool. It's a cool surprise blocker that will net me possibly a bunch of cards. And it's so cute. It's a kitty. Kitty. Gerard. Fucking wonderful. He's for my Golgari deck, and he's not particularly needed, but I already had Savra, and I thought, you know what, bring Bring the siblings together, right? And Masaryk. Freaking cool. Freaking cool. He's going straight in there too. That's it. And Mystics for my red and blue goblin deck. I've always wanted a proper legendary to spearhead both of the colors, but until now that wasn't really viable. But now it is, and he's super good. Thief of Blood for the vampires. Just love that, being able to snatch up all the counters. That means killing all the planeswalkers for you little ones. Respite, a playset of that for my Aegis Entity deck. It's just great. Life gain and combat damage negation. Beautiful. Beast token. I don't remember what deck exactly I needed 3/3 beast for, but I needed it, and it's like, are those the eyes? Okay, it's ugly then. I can just pretend that those aren't the eyes. Grenzo for one of my goblin decks. I think it's for my black and red one, but hey, he's not a leader and it's not a commander deck, so meh. And Beguiler of Wills. Yes, that's a playset of a mythic rare, but I needed her. She's gonna be a star in the wizard deck. And I have lost track of where I put the thing. I'm just putting them in random places now. Dismantle, I already had 2. I needed a playset for my Arcbound deck. It's beautiful, it's fantastic. Nice. And a Panoptic Mirror. Super good. I got one last time I opened Darksteel, and I had one to begin with, and my wife's been at my throat about how broken it is, and I thought, you know what, it might just change her tune if she has one too, and I know it will, and she's admitted it, but there we go, she can have one. Will of Lost Dreams. It's going straight in the entity deck with all the life gain I will be getting. It's nice to draw some cards. Pontiff of Blight. Super fantastic. He's going in the black and white cleric deck because wouldn't I like to have extort on all my creatures? Yes, I would. And also with the playset of Edgewalker I'll have in there, I'm gonna have so much mana in excess. So why not extort the shit out of everyone? Going straight there. Progenitor Mimic. I've been wanting this for a long time. Oh yes. Token deck, here he comes. And coat with Venom, and one in foil that is... I was going to say it's beautiful, but it's kind of drab. It's kind of just grey. But anyways, it's going in my red and black. We deal damage to just about every creature, and then everything dies deck. Really elaborate title, huh? Anyways, Ageless Entity, here he is. I only had one, but I needed a playset for the deck to be anywhere close to viable. Winds of Wrath, something that I just discovered was a thing. This is going in my enchantment deck, because just about half of the creatures are enchantments themselves. So, yeah. And Butcher of Malakir for the vampire deck, of course. I've got a whole array of things in there that lets me sacrifice things in order to bleed my opponent. So shit, yeah, I sacrifice things and you sacrifice things, then more bleeding. Oh yes, vampires, and Arcanis, and they had him really cheap in foil just because he's been in that new versus deck. A theme deck or whatever. He's so cool. He's going straight in the wizards. Fury of the Horde for my Orc deck. The deck that I've been wanting to do for ages. Ages, I say. I haven't played that long, but it feels like ages. Cryptbreaker. Super good card from the new set. The longer I play, the longer it is in between them doing new and actually good and interesting zombies, at least I think. But these, I needed some good one-drops, and they fulfill. Drogskull Shieldmate. Doing a theme deck on white spirits. This sort of spirits, not the Kamigawa spirits. Not that I don't like them. I actually love the Kamigawa spirits. I used to be quite the Japanophile, but these I really like, and they're going in there, and it's gonna be great. And Giza and Geralf. Mind what I said about them not printing interesting zombies? Well, my zombie deck happens to be black and blue, and I had some thoughts about buying this or not, because, well, clearly they aren't zombies, but they're just so good, and the flavor fits, and I can't pass up on that. Simply can't. Narwood Dryad. The moment I saw that this was spoiled, I decided that I had to have at least a playset. I have a Fangorn theme deck that is basically just everything that looks twisted and gnarly in mono green. That is either a plant or a wall that has a planty theme, like overgrown battlements or tree folks for that matter, and one or two elementals or spirits, but mainly just plants or dryads in this matter. But this looks absolutely amazing, and by itself it's a 1/1 with death touch. Already there it's good, and then the delirium kicks in. Oh my god. Tree of Perdition? Fuck yes. I have an absent deck that is quite heavily revolving around anything with a ridiculous toughness, and then Doran the Siege Tower along with Trostani. So yeah, anything with a lot of life. Just recently I had a fantastic fight where I got this out before I had damaged my opponent and tapped it, so that yeah, 20 toughness and she was at 13, and then I slapped fruits of the first tree on it and immediately sacked it, or next turn I sacked it with what's it called? Altar's Reap, and netted myself 22 cards and 20 life, and it was brilliant. Oh well, I had to discard a bunch, but still super, super cool. And Ulvenwald Overseer, another one for the Fangorn deck. I saw him and then I was sold. That is good. And luckily I have a bunch of things with toughness 4 greater in the deck, so yeah, there we go. Crumbling Ashes for one of my older, that sounds so ominous, in one of my older decks. Basically cinders and a few demons like Carnifex and the like, that just sprays minus counters everywhere and fucks with everyone. So good. And Marrow Bone Gnaw for my Simic Merfolk deck. Like the little 1-drop, and it's good to be able to remove things in graveyards, so absolutely love it. And Urtai for my Wizard deck. Who doesn't like counter spells on his deck, really? And he counts as a wizard. Oh, those were the olden days. And Vampire Hounds. Needed a cool hound for my Dougie deck. I know it's not the best card, but they look cool and they were fairly cheap. So, doggies. And Occasion Money Changer. I know what a lot of people will say, it's a bad card. But he's going in the Orshav deck, and there's nothing more Orshavy than a Money Changer. Just the look of him. And he's a 1-drop. And I'm gonna do a lot of extortion in the deck, so 1-drops are good, especially late game. Nice. Here we go. Shaman of the Great Hunt. The last piece that I needed for my Orc deck. The Orc deck doesn't contain green or blue, so I'm not really gonna be using the last bit of power there, but the first ability by itself makes the card really good. It basically turns all my Orcs into vampires. What's not to like? And Clearwater Goblet for my Arcbound deck, which also happens to be a Sunburst deck. So guess what? And for Energy Chambers, again for the same deck, they are amazing. Even I would have a playset of them just for the art, but I've never really bought them because they were sort of pricey. But now that I have a deck that so heavily features the flavor and needs the boost, I just needed them. I needed to have them. And the Etched Oracle is another star of the deck. Really, with the Arcbound stuff, I will be drawing so many cards. I've already done it before. I have 2 oracles in the deck so far, but I needed a playset. Solarian, really? Is there a need for an explanation here? I don't think so. My goodness, it's ugly. And Cloud Seeder for my fairy deck. Definitely. Magus of the Future for the wizards. What else did you think? And Vidalcan Ethermage. Because cycling. Freaking wizard cycling. This is the toolbox thingy mojo for my wizard deck. I'm super thrilled that I keep digging right at the cut where where one set of cards ends and another begins. Right. Basilica Guards for my Orshoff deck. More stuff. And a cleric token. I've been needing it. I already had a Death Pact Angel, but I've bought another one, so now I'll definitely need it. And it's... well, it would be a lie to say that it's pretty, but it's well drawn and it's cool. And I really, really love to have things in order. Cryptghast. 2 of them. I simply felt like buying a whole playset would be too expensive. But 2 should be fine. I'm not sure where I'm putting them yet. I have a bunch of decks that could benefit for some black ramping. But we'll see. And here she is, the Death Pact Angel. I think she's going in the black and white cleric deck. I know that she ain't a cleric, but when she dies, she makes a cleric, and she fits the colors, and she's really, really pretty, and I want to use her. And High Priest of Penance, because Edgewalker makes this guy free, and who doesn't want to spot remove? No one. That's who. Knight of Obligation for the Orshoff deck. And Predator's Report for the Entity deck. For those of you who are unfamiliar with it, you gain life equal to the toughness and the power of target creature. Use that on your entity, and you will. Well, you'll not only double, you will triple. Yeah, you'll triple his power. And if you already boosted him once, this is absolutely amazing. When I playtested my deck, I got so lucky as to throw over Nourish, pump him up to a 10er, and then the next round I threw this, and then, well, 30. It was absolutely fantastic. Stolen Identity is for my Merfolk deck, because, well, they're doing the Dimir theme, and it's a really, really cool card, and I've got a lot of unblockables, so Cypher is bound to trigger again and again and again and again. Syndic of Tides for the Orshoff deck. It's a nice, easy and cheap drop and extort, and really, when I first got the idea for the deck, I just searched for any card that had Tithe in the name. That's how I found Mana Tithe and the original Tithe that I have not bought, because that is freaking expensive. Baron Sengir, he's an oldie. I'm not sure I will be using him, but he looks so cool, and there's such a cool feeling to having an old legendary spearheading your deck. And Chandler. When I saw that this deck was this card was a thing, I thought it was some sort of unglued or unhinged thing, but then I saw there was Homelands. And can you guess where he's going? He's going in the artifact deck, so I can go, could that thing be any more of an artifact? Or could that artifact be any more mine? Or could that artifact be any more dead? Chaos Moon. I have no idea what to put it in. I just saw it and I thought, you know what? If I ever make a deck where I feel like gambling with my mana, this needs to go in there. And it's really, really pretty. And that is a wall of text. Songs of the Damned. I bought 2 play sets, because we're always fighting over them in this household. This is our preferred ritual of any and all. This is just so good. Any of our graveyard decks, love them. Curse of the Stalked Prey goes straight into my Hagob deck, because it's good, it's nice, it's cheap, and it works wonders with my what's he called? The Mist Meadow Skulk. He's a what are they called? They're not called halflings, they're called Kithkins. He's a 1/1 Kithkin with lifelink and protection from mana cost 3 or greater, which usually makes him almost unblockable. And this, as you can see, is mana cost 2, so he's bound to grow strong from that. And it has won me at least a few matches. Dead weight for my black enchantment deck that isn't a thing yet, but it will be, and it's great to go -2/-2 for 1 mana. Plus in the deck I have I think it's called Blightcaster Mage, the human wizard who goes -2/-2 to a creature whenever I cast an enchantment. So that is some cheap removal right there. And Agent of Erebos for the very same deck. Lovely. Fellhide Petrifier for my Minotaurs. I made a Minotaur deck and I bought all the cards, and then I thought, this is great, this is fucking fantastic. And then later on someone told me that this was a thing, and I was struck with awe that this was also a thing, because, you know, quality of decks have really improved. And Grim Guardian, again, the black enchantment deck. It's gonna be fantastic, and the art is glorious, absolutely fantastic. Nyx Infusion, I just needed 1 to have a playset, again for the black enchantments. It's gonna be fantastic that I can either boost my own or debuff my opponents. Sage of Hours, I had to have him, and I've bought 2 because I wanted to surprise my wife and give 1 to her. She has a sick Simic deck, and she sprays counters left and right, and she's gonna abuse this beyond what's fair. I'm gonna hate myself for it, but I love her so very much, so I want only the best for her. Solidarity of Heroes for I don't even know what to call it. I guess you'd call it a Celestia deck or Dromoka deck or whatever, but it's not Celestia and Dromoka isn't there, but it's a white-green deck with cards mainly from Dromoka's Brood and what used to be Absent, and there's just counters everywhere, and this is perfect for it. It's got quite a few cards from Theros with Heroic, so the thing that it targets is just even better. Altar of the Brood for my snake deck, because if there's one thing I'm doing in that deck, it's shitting out tokens everywhere. So this is gonna be good. Karhu Spell Snatcher, or Karoo Spell Snatcher for the Morph deck, because it's nice. Need no other reason. What else do we have? Berserk Murlodund for the beasts. Damn, that's ugly, and it's cool. Riptide Director for the wizards, because holy shit, pay for and draw a card for each wizard I control. Oh yes. And Weaver of Lies for the Morph deck. My goodness, that is... Sometimes it's really hard to believe that this game only began in the early 90s, because this art is so 80s. So very 80s. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, but damn. And Buggered Harbinger for my black-red goblin deck. Really, goblin tutoring. Do I need to explain my choice here? And Buggered Mob. He's fantastic, and the tokens that are going to be generated are out of this world. Cairn Wanderer. Freaking awesome. I've been wanting this for my Changeling deck since forever, but until now it's been quite pricey, at least beyond what I was willing to pay. At least now it's going to be fantastic. It already is. It's a regular hate storm to play against. Fairy Harbinger, guess what? And Fairy Trickery, again, what a mystery. And Glenelendra Pranksters for the fairy deck. I don't even know why I got so obsessed with creating a fairy deck, but I remember back back when I was studying Japanese, I was studying abroad. Well, guess where? In Japan. Yeah. And back then I had only just started playing Magic, and I met this awesome guy, French dude, who's sadly no longer with us. He died in a plane crash not so long ago, but he was at that point of, I don't know if he was a regular tournament player or if he just played in a few, but he was unfathomably good, and he was beating us all left and right. Even the guy who had spent a fortune of money on the Emrakul that had just come out, and a bunch of things to cheat him into play, he was just beating us all left and right, and everyone was bitching and moaning, me included. I will not I'll not shine my halo over this, but I was bitching and moaning too that he had all those rares and mythics for his tournament decks, and he got so pissed with us that he thought, you know what, guys, I'll show you. And then he went and ordered a full deck just with commons, and it was a fairy deck, and the Spellstarter Sprite. My fucking goodness, there's just nothing to do. All his fairies were so cheap. He was just fucking tossing them out there like some, I don't even know. I was gonna go off on a tangent on something really perverse, but I'll spare your ears. Anyways, he was just countering everything and evading everything, and all with common cards, and I was so impressed back then, so I've always wanted to do a fairy deck ever since then. So yeah, now I'm doing it. Nogglebone Witch, again, goblins. Super cool, and it's a 1-drop. What's not to like? Spellstarter Sprite. Already had one, so here we go. This is in honor of you, man. Walt. Super ugly. Super ugly. Look. Anyways, black and red goblins, of course. Colonian Behemoth for my beast deck. And Manic Vandal. I know that it's a super common and not that impressive card, but I felt like I needed one more for my, you know what that is also? An artifact deck. It's great to be able to smash something and then after that have a body. And Crown of Empires along with Scepter of Empires along with Throne of Empires. I love this set. And they are featured in my Rebels deck. That it's mainly a flavor deck, really, about them rebels taking over the throne or taking over the empire, really. So when I had a full set of those, I just had to put them in there. Now I'll have a play set to make the combo come off that more easily. Profane Memento, super good for a life gain in a mill deck. I had to have a play set. I think I have one and my wife has one, but we both want a lot more than that. Quickling for the fairies. I have bought way too many cards for the actual deck to be just a 60 cards deck, and I really don't want to do a commander deck because I like my play sets, but it's so pretty. And I might just toss them in there instead of my, Fairy Imposter. 1-drop that does the exact same thing, but is a little weaker. Tormod's Crypt, again, playset, because we love milling, or just, in general putting things in the graveyard and then denying their return. The Archangel of Tides. I don't know why this card in particular needed to be in plastic, because I don't think it's nowhere near the most expensive card that I've bought, but yeah. Again, I will say the title and then you guess where it's going. Archangel of Tides. Necromantic Summons. Love the card. It's Rise from the Graves, or Rise from the Grave. You can't be in more than one grave. If you are, then someone must have really hated you, or you got run over repeatedly. Anyways, it's super good, and I wanted a playset, so there we have it. And there we have her, Shauku, Endbringer. So beautiful and so terrifying, and especially the mana cost, damn. but the effect of her flying, and she can't attack unless there's no other creatures in play, and in my upkeep I lose 3 life, goddammit. But I can exile any creature with her, and she gets a +1 counter. Fuck, that is good. She needs to be the leader of my vampire deck. This is weird though, because in the card description it said that it was damaged, but it was the only one they had, so I thought, you know what? You know fucking what? I'll take my chances. But I really don't see anything wrong with the card. That's another thing I love about Channel Fireball. They are so meticulous with their conditions. I mean, really, I've bought anything between slightly played to, well, now you see damaged, and to my untrained eye, they're all almost near mint. I know that it's such an old card, so it can never really be near mint, or mint for that matter, but really, it's fine by me, and I love that I get such good quality cards and they care so much about it. Altar of Shadows, I don't have a particular deck for this, but I think it's such a cool card and I really wanted it. So, I indulged. Fate Spinner, again for my wizard deck. I love that you have been denying them one face. That is so incredibly powerful to have them choose one phase to lose. And Quicksilver Elemental for my Teamer colored elemental deck. I've been wanting it for a long time. And okay, Scythe of the Wretched in Chinese. I'm not sure I ordered it in Chinese, but I might have, because it was quite expensive and there were several options that were cheaper than the near mint English thing. So yeah, no, I don't care. I've already got one in English and I know what it does, and the people I play with also know what it does, so I don't need any excuses or anything. But damn, look at that. It's going straight in the Hey Gob deck. If there's any D&D players out there, you've probably seen their depiction of the red cap, and it's just wielding that humongous scythe, and the look of this on the Mist Meadow Skulk is just fantastic. Plus, it's mana cost 2, so I can actually equip it. Seething Song, great, and it's going straight in my Aurus Dragonstorm deck. Because mana, token, I've been needing this for my golems. Bound in Silence for my rebel deck. Token and a token. The Mad Auntie for my goblins. And Una. Damn, she's beautiful, and it's such a powerful card. Guess where she's going? Pester Might, again, and Sign of Una. Such a great card. I cannot believe how expensive it is compared to Una, but it's, well, if you want to look at it like that, it's a better tribal card than Una herself. She's a great leader, but she's not very tribal. Token. Oop, there we are. For my this is for my Fangorn deck. And Fairy. Guess where? Tesserit's Gambit. I already had one, so now I have a playset. It's going in my my Arcbound deck because Proliferate. Fuck yes. And Draw Power, yes. And I know that it can be a bit hard to get blue mana since I'm doing Sunburst, but it's Phyrexian mana, so I can get around that. And Notorious Throng. I'll give you a moment to see if you can guess what that is. Of course it's for my rogue deck. No, it's for the fairies. Fuck that. I don't even know who I'm talking to. But, there's just so many cards. What do we have here? Lynn Civvy. There we are. For the rebels. She's a legend. Already had, what's his face? The guy who won't take damage. Chomano. But another legend is not too bad. And Chancellor of the Annex is for the Orshav deck. Because damn. and Norn's Annex. Well, she was the Chancellor, so they're staying together. Vault Charge for the Arcbound deck, because proliferate and damage. I love those 2 for 1 thingies. Simply love them. And I'm tossing cards everywhere. Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim. Freaking awesome. For the clerics, she was the one who inspired me after all. Dread Defiler. I gotta say, I am not a particular fan of Eldrazi's these days. I think we've got enough of them by now. But some time back, I got Ugin and I wanted to do a deck with him, and I did several, and none of them really satisfied me. So by the time we got to Battle for Zendikar and what's the other one? Oath of the Gatewatch, I started to notice the slight bits of feuding between Jace and Ugin, how they were constantly bickering about what to do, and I thought to myself, you know what if Ugin went rogue and just went, you know what then, if you don't want to listen to me, then fuck all of ya. And then he went on an Eldrazi rampage, and I decided to go with black because, you know, black be evil, and I put in a Liliana in there as well, so just for good measure, because we hadn't seen Liliana at that point being a part of the Gatewatch. So I thought, you know what, maybe they won't be able to persuade her into joining. Maybe she'll just join ranks with Ugin. So she did in that deck. Purely flavor and story, and a made-up story at that. But hey, what do you know? Kazul's Toll Collector for my Ogre deck. It's got a lot of equipment, so that's going to be good. Pulse of Murasa for the Entity deck, because damn, freaking 6 life, and I return a creature or land for 3 mana. That's value. This is value. Also, super pretty. Sifter of Skulls for the Ugin thingy. Patron Wizard. This is probably one of the most pricey things that I actually bought. Damn. He's gonna be good for the Wizards. Ancestor's Prophet. I don't know if I needed 2, but I thought, you know what, if I decide to have 2 in the cleric deck, better have 2. Affero Grifter for the Wizards. More things than the Wizards can do. Oh, and this Orification for the Orshav deck. I thought that is, if this is not pure awesome flavor, I don't know what it is. Basically, it says whenever any of your opponent's creatures deal damage to you, then they turn into gold statues. How beautiful is that? Backslide for the Morph deck. And even if I don't have anything to slide back, then I can cycle them. Value right there. Brightstone Ritual. You can never have too many. Am I right, fellow Goblin players? And Disruptive Pit Mage in foil. The only one they had, sadly. I wanted a playset so badly, but they didn't have it at that point, and I just didn't feel like waiting anymore. He's gonna be so good in that Wizard deck. And Information Dealer. Nice early, it's not scrying per se, but it's as close as we get, and it's really powerful, I think, at least. And Exodore for my morphs. He's really the king of morphs, so why not? And Croson Groundshaker for my beasts. Because, hey, being able to give a target beast trample, that is good. Misery Charm for the clerics. I know that other peoples don't really use that many clerics, so at least one of the options is kinda nullified, but being able to just for 1 black mana either do a Raise from the Dead or Disentomb or whatever it's called, the newer one, or you'd be able to have your opponent lose 2 life. It's nifty. It's really nice. And Profaning Prayers. I know that I already have a bunch of them laying about, but I got lazy. Got really lazy, and I thought, you know what? I want a play set. for this as well. Oh, well, there you have it, Sloth. We definitely have, well, Decadence isn't really a deadly sin per se, but Gluttony is. And yeah, well, Pride, I don't know what the Pride is. The Pride is that I want play sets, I guess, because I take... No, that's also Gluttony. And Lust, I don't know. As you can probably see, this is a pretty heavy table. It's made from a ginormous cable spool, so I can't really do that whole slamming my my leg up into the to the bottom of the desk to lift it a bit to indicate that I just got a raging boner. Well, I could, but it wouldn't really budge much, and I would hurt my knee immensely. So I'm not doing that. But some of these cards definitely get me riled up. Riptide Replicator for my Don't Go Into the Basement Celestia deck. I already have one, but another one is good, especially when this is one of the main win conditions. It pays off to have more than one. And Rotlong Reanimator. So freaking fantastic it's gonna be for my clerics. Supreme Inquisitor. He's gonna do wonders in the wizard deck. Being able to just completely and utterly remove cards from my opponent's library. Oh, that's gonna take the edge off of some things. Croesus the Poacher. Absolutely fantastic foil. I have a Grixis deck and it's waiting for him. Serendip Sorcerer. Already had two, so I felt like a playset was in order for the wizard deck. Being able to take any threat and just completely and utterly neuter it is going to be fantastic. Tangarth for my Minotaurs. Thing is, the Minotaurs as they are right now are very Mogusy. They're very, very black. Mainly black, actually. And then a little bit red. And they're not so very heroic. They're more bloodthirsty and psychotic. But he's a really good Minotaur. And cool. So there we are. Judge's Familiar. Foil and everything. It's even the F&M foil. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. I've bought a playset of them, just not the foil thing, but I saw this and I just had to have one of them at least. I guess that's kind of pride, because vanity and pride go together, and this is definitely a thing about beauty. So yeah, there we have it. Vanity. Oh, the Nephalia Moondrakes. I have a Drake deck, and this is going to be quite useless in it because just about all my things in there are flying anyway. But it's a really big Drake, and I needed some heavy hitters. It's not a very competitive deck, but I really like it. I really like it. Doomwake Giant. Another foil. Not because I particularly needed this image. I think it's a little blurry and all. But it was cheaper than the actual one. For some reason, people really don't like this. And I thought, you know what? You want to give it to me cheaper? Let's do it. Oh, and this is the Drogskull Cavalry. Damn, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. This is so pretty that it's brilliant. There you have it. It's going in the White Spirit deck. And the Lord of Shatterskull Pass. Again, one of those things where the non-alternate art is more expensive for some reason. I personally think this one is much prettier. So when I saw it, I got it. Definitely. And Excise. Super, super good card for the Orshop deck. Basically, when I have my opponents pay for everything, they're not going to have a whole lot of mana to pay the ransom, if you will. So this is bound to be a 2, maybe 3 mana exile target attacking creature thing, which is really nice. Sisters of Stone Death. I have a Sultai colored deck that does not... Yes, it does features a DC, but the leader of it is actually I don't remember her name. She was one of the commanders in one of the older commander sets, the Sultai colored one with with the thing with the drawing of the 7 cards and the whatnot, and I've really wanted this as well because this is such a good thing to be able to remove your opponent's things from the game is an absolute winner. So yeah, what do we have? Core Spirit Dancer. Absolutely amazing. It unifies the what is it called? The sword wielding monk from I think it's from Dragons of Takia, the one that gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Something with Grace Blade or something, and then the Mesa Enchantress for 2 mana. How awesome is that? All in one card. This was also pretty expensive, and so was this guy. But I had to have one, at least one, for the wizard deck. Damn, that extra turn though. I think he might have been the single most pricey card actually. It was at $10. I think so. Anyways, let's not dwell on that, lest I start regretting just how much money I've spent on this. Mortician Beetle for the Golgari deck. I already had one, but a playset. Playset is better, definitely. Virulent Swipe, another thing for the black and red deal damage to everything and so everything dies deck. It needs a better name, but I don't know what it is. What it's gonna be? Carnifex. It's going in the Cinder deck with all the minus counters. Contagion Engine. What are you going in? Oh yeah, you're going in my Arcbound deck because proliferate. Horde Smelter is going in the, you know what that is? An artifact deck. I love him. I simply love him, and that snarl it's doing. Both my wife and I are both agreeing on that. It actually looks kind of happy, like some sort of ferret going. But yeah, that's a thing that we agree on. You don't need to agree on it, but if you do, then good for you. Oxida Scrap Smelter, another one for the artifact deck. It's great to have a big buddy that just comes trouncing in after I've killed your artifacts. Throne of Geth. Actually not sure what I bought this for. I think it's for the Arcbound deck because every once in a while it's just nice to be able to proliferate and kill off one of your Arcbound guys so that you can get some more counters on something else. The Final Edgewalker, I already had 3, but I needed 1 more. There we are. Raven Guildmaster. I have 3 in my blue assault deck, as I call it, basically an attempt to showcase the aggressive side of blue. It does a whole lot of milling, but it's actually meant to be more about how some blue creatures can be really aggressive in that when they attack, they make you mill and do other things. So I really needed him in there along with some unblockability and some double striking, and then that's just almost game, set, and match. And then the place out of that, great. Biting Tether for the fairy deck, because a little bit of control goes a long way. And I did not have the money for a Sower of Temptation. Blightsickle. There's actually already a playset of them in the Haygob deck, but I figured this is such a fantastic piece of equipment. I always need more. I could slap them into just about any other deck that has some reliance on equipment and boom, wither. Dire Undercurrents, magnificent art, and it's going straight in the Merfolk deck. Fairy Swarm, guess where? Fate Transfer is a staple in my Cinder deck, and I think I have a few of them already in there, but I wanted to make sure that I could have a playset and then some to spare for other decks that feature a lot of counters. And there's a token that I've been needing. Gravelgill Duo for the Merfolks. Incremental Blight. Fan-freaking-tastic. Being able to spray counters all over the board. Ink Fathom Infiltrator. I am in love with this card. I think it is beautifully drawn, and the dual mana requirement thingy, the hybrid thing, just enables so much devotion if you wanted to do that. And the fact that it's unblockable is just great, and it's power 2, and okay, you can't block with it yourself, but fuck that really. And it's great for some tribal things, and if you're able to look past the face, is really hot. Yeah. Anyways, Ink Fathom Witch, not hot, but it's a good card, and it's coming with the infiltrators to the Merfolk deck. Speaking of the Cinders and everything, the Kolrath Knights, I've been wanting to get a playset of them, but they were damn expensive. But now I finally splurged, and now I can have a playset, and it's just infuriating to sit there having built and built and built so that everything you have has a numerous plus counters on it, and all of a sudden I slap down this little 5 mana knight and you can't do shit. Mirror Weave for my fairy deck. I know that they're Kithkins on the picture, but fuck that, really. They could have been fairies that took the shapes of Kithkins, and it's such a dickish and fun move to all of a sudden go, right, all my little 1/1 fairies and all that, all those things over there and those things over there and those things over there, they are now, let's see, is that a Runescar demon you've got there? You attacked me last turn and most of your things are tapped. I think I've got a lot more tiny creatures than you, except now they're all 6/6s. Oh yes, Mossbridge Troll. Another addition for my troll deck. I already have one, and he has proven invaluable so many times. I felt like I needed another one. Una's Gate Warden. Just great defense for my fairy deck. Oracle of Nectars for the entity deck is fantastic. When I'm just drawing mana and I've got nothing else, I can still gain a fuck ton of life, and it's super pretty. Just look at that. Look at that. Don't mind me telling you what to do. Scarscale Ritual. You could think that that was for the merfolks, but no, it is for my Cinders, because they don't mind have a few minus counters on them as well. Most of the things that die go like, oh yeah, I had minus counters. You know what? Let's put them somewhere else when I die. How about your opponent's face? And it's draw power, and that's good. Sig, the River Cutthroat, is going straight in the merfolks. They need a leader, and here he is. Turn to Mist. I don't think I actually have a deck right now that is in dire need of them, but I think it's a fantastic card, and it's got so much utility, and the art is fabulous. There. Oh shit, we're getting to the end of the haul. Oh, the deck building that is about to commence. Ethereal Armor. For my white enchantment deck, this is a magnificent card. There's nothing more to it than that. And the rest of the Judge's Familiars. Wonderful 1-drop for my Orshav deck. Simply. Necropolis Regent. For the vampires. Damn, that's good. The Rakdos Rage Mutt. For my doggy deck. Some much needed lifelink. Soul Tithe. Wonderful Tithe. And the imagery is freaking amazing. That demon just dissolving into coins. This is about the time where I would do that knee into the bottom of the table joke. Vandal Blast. For my artifact deck, that is an artifact and now it's ruined. Eldrazi Spawn, Eldrazi Spawn. Because I'm still using some of the older cards that produce the tokens, mainly in my token deck that has a Nest Invader that I make tokens of, though that he makes tokens. So yo dog, heard you like tokens. Hanweir Militia Captain. This is an amazing card, and I bought a playset so I can have them in my cleric deck. And I know what you're saying, it's a soldier, it's not a cleric, but boom, now it is. I know it doesn't start off, and it's kind of an eyesore for me, but the effect on the other side is too good to pass up. Plus, it makes something that I've been wanting forever. It makes black and white clerics. And that is the essence of the deck. And then there's the Pious Evangel, who is white and then becomes black and is just freaking awesome. I already had 2, so I just needed 2 more. And again, this is one of the decks that I've bought way too many cards for to just be a 60 card deck, but I will, through arduous struggles, try and limit it. This is a little beauty. I've been wanting it forever. The Godsire is in my Glory Scale deck, and I don't think I've actually yet, through all the plays I've done with it, had out the Godsire and actually produced any sires. No. Any offspring. But now I know that I'll be able to do so in good standing with all the proper trimmings. Bull Cerdan for the same deck. I don't know if I'll put 2 in there or just 1, but I definitely need that big buff booty. Death Greeter. I don't really specifically have a deck for him right now. I would love if he would have been a cleric, because that would just be awesome, but he's not. He's a shaman, but we always end up using a fuck ton of him in just about every deck that's focused on death and dying. So 4 more is a good thing. My anime. Sue me. Beautiful, beautiful card, and I am sure that she's gonna do wondrous things for me in the Glory Scale deck. Fevered Convulsions for the Cinder deck. The ability to pay, well, albeit a fuck ton of mana, but being able to put a minus counter on a target creature instead of Torture, where I slam it on a specific creature and then I can only go so far before it dies. Cleric Token. You wouldn't believe how expensive this guy is. I think he's $1 for a token. But yeah, it's a very unique token. But I definitely needed him for my white cleric deck that features Heliod. Curse of the Swine. This card was what, all alongside with the touching story of the guy who slapped us left and right. This is what inspired me to do the fairy deck. I think it's such a tricksy little thing to turn all your opponent's creatures into pigs. Oh yes, bear with me for a moment. I will be right back. The hell did I put you guys? There they are. There they are. Don't leave! Don't leave! It's gonna be funny! Piggy Rain. I was in the toy store at a point and I found these. And I thought to myself, if I ever get the chance to do a deck with Curse of the Swine, instead of actual tokens, I will give these to my opponent. Not for keeps, because they were expensive. But aren't they just the cutest? Oink, oink. Anyways, Piggy Rain. Fun stuff. Anyways, Viper's Kiss for the black enchantments. Curse of the Cabal for nothing in particular, but I think I might just put it in the new cleric deck because the Cabal was clerics, albeit only black. But hey, things change. Orshoff goes mono white, and the Cabal could have gone white black. Could have done that. Evangelize for my Orshoff deck. I know that the opponent isn't really paying anything here, but fuck, it's white mind control, albeit very limited, but still, it's cool, and I can buy it back if I so desire, and if I so have the money, or the mana. The Thick-Skinned Goblin is for a later project. I just had to buy it now because I will these things you don't really know whenever they're in stock and when they're not. I have the idea for someday doing a deck that revolves around the Skirk Fire Marshal, whose deal is to tap 5 untapped goblins, and then he deals 10 damage to everyone and everything. And then I just thought, get these guys because they can have protection from red, and then the Keeper of Kukus, who also have protection from red, and then the Fire Marshal has protection from red himself, and then I will continuously have the goblins that I need to keep the fire roiling, and then slap some sort of lightning on him, probably per what's it called, the Loxodon Warhammer, or if I can get my hands on the Acromas Memorial, and then just slap whatever goblins in there, because then all my creatures would have protection from red. But the Memorial is $14 at least, and I didn't really feel like spending that much money on a deck that I didn't even have at that point. Anyways, Void Mage Prodigy for the Wizards. There's been a lot of things for the Wizards by far, but yeah, I was doing this deck from scratch, so yeah. Lurking Jackals for the Doggy deck. For those of you who don't know this card, it's an enchantment for 1 mana that goes if your opponent has 10 life or less. If Jackals, Lurking Jackals is still an enchantment, it becomes a 3/2 hound creature. That is cool. It's cool that it can lay in wait like that. Anyways, the Keeper of Kukus. Look at this ugly fucker. What I really like about Keeper of Kukus and then Thick-Skinned Goblin is that the flavor text for this was that wanted thick-skinned goblin for guarding mean old Kukus, must like fires, must heal quickly. And then he had protection from red, and that was cool. And then in Time Spiral, where they revisited all these old storylines and whatnot, they did a thick-skinned goblin, and that was what they wanted. And now he can also have protection from red, and now he's a little more expensive, and he has some other abilities. So that is just a fantastic nod to the past. Beast Token, that I really needed. And Hedron Crabs. I already had 2, so I just needed 2 more for that wonderful feel of the playset, so that my landfall deck can be maximum meanness potential. Seagate Lawmaster for my what are they called? Changeling, for my Changeling deck, because yeah, the Changelings are allies too. That's draw power for you right there. And Vampire Hexmage for all your counters and Planeswalkers elimination needs. Well, that was it. That was my my wonderful new haul, and if any of the things that I've said in the past half hour or so or more has been interesting or fun, then that's good, and I hope you had fun, and I hope I didn't waste your time. I certainly didn't waste my time, and it was great seeing all these things that I've been waiting for so very little time, actually. Again, thank you, Channel Fireball, and thank you for sharing this experience with me. Have a great day and a great life if this is the last you'll hear of me, and I'll see you. I don't really see you. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Bye-bye.